Ooh, why did I hit 0 there? Viewer topics. Backseat co-host. But Ryan, that's how I do things here. You know me. I don't like to. Before we do the viewer topics, I've said this before. I don't like the very rigid, sort of discussion. You know what I mean? I don't like the idea of, all right, we're talking about this. We're getting off topic. Stop talking. Like, I don't like that. I like the idea of a more free-form discussion. So that works better for me. So, yeah, the discussion usually ends up going. I mean, we've had episodes where we talk for 10 minutes about the topic, and then the next 20 minutes is just we go wherever the hell we go. And I like that. I like that idea. It's a little less organized, but I like it to be a little bit more disorganized. I find it more natural that way as opposed to just a very rigid discussion. But we are going to talk SDCC news, Batman Beyond Blu-ray. All right, so we're going to do these one at a time because I know that there's going to be a lot of topics this week for stuff that we want to discuss. Batman Beyond Blu-ray, $99.99, October 14th, I think. I'm not going to bother looking it up. Sometime in October. It's going to have, this is very, very cool. It's going to have all 52 episodes. I think it was 52 episodes. Of a chrome Batman Beyond pop vinyl, which I just don't care about. I don't remember if there's other stuff in it. It is going to come with the Return of the Joker movie. But there is one more cool thing that I thought that should be mentioned that people probably don't know. Apparently, they lost a chunk of episodes. I want to say it's like 11 episodes or something. They are going to be remastered using a different, or not remastered. They're going to be modified using a different technique from versions that already exist, not the masters. So it's gonna have every episode, but they have outright said that some episodes are gonna look a little bit lower in quality. The film itself degraded too much. That's what it was. That they're gonna look lower in quality because of the way that it's done. I find that very fascinating. I find it very interesting that they're doing that. And more importantly, I find it interesting that they're saying it. I don't know. I just thought that was really cool. Yeah, it sounds like the master copy has deteriorated, which I just find very cool that they're coming outright and saying, look, some of these episodes are not going to look as good because this thing happened and we're going to fix it. Like, we're going to figure out what to do. I love that. I love that. I love it brings up, and we're not going to discuss it here, but it brings up the idea of transparency from these companies, that they're saying what's going on. They're giving you more of what to expect. You know, they could have not said anything. You could have just bought it, got it home, and said, why the hell do these episodes look so different? And then they could have explained, well, we had to do all of this. But you're getting that news outright, and I like that. I like that transparency. Brandon Routh is going to be reprising his role as Superman, his Superman role in Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'm assuming there's a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie, or is that a voice that he's going to be doing? Which I liked Brandon Routh as Superman. I liked Superman Returns. And that's probably the hottest take of the day, is that I like Superman Returns. I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was a great standalone movie. And I thought it was a great homage to Christopher Reeve's Superman, because I thought it was very, very much like Christopher Reeve's Superman. I really like that movie. I don't understand all of the hate that movie gets. I think Kevin Spacey did a fantastic job. I think that the weakest character in that movie was the Lois Lane character, and she wasn't that bad. I think that everybody else, I think the Jimmy Olsen character was perfect. Who was that? Sam Huntington? I think that Jimmy Olsen's character was absolutely perfect. I like that movie. I don't understand what the problem is with it. DuckTales is adding Goofy and other Disney. I saw that. I'm going to have to go. I have to find a way to watch this show. DuckTales is adding a whole bunch of characters, or they're going to at least have cameos from a bunch of characters. And I really, really want to see that. The Cats movie. The Cats movie. Okay. Sorry about the Superman Return spoilers. Here's the thing about the Cats movie. The Cats movie looks awful. And I'm gonna have to jump ahead of a bunch of these. No, it's Arrowverse crossover event. Oh, okay, Arrowverse crossover event. Okay. the Cats movie. I think it looks terrible. I think it doesn't have the charm that it used to before, because when it was the Broadway play, it was the big furry outfits, and it was very charming. It was very interesting. Here's my issue. It's a Broadway musical. I personally don't like Broadway musicals. The Cats could look as amazing as you could possibly think, and I'm still going to pass on it. It's a Broadway musical, and I don't like Broadway musicals. So I really don't have an opinion. That's why everybody's talking about, like, it looks good, it looks bad, it looks terrible. I don't think it looks great at all. I think it looks ridiculous. But I wouldn't see it anyway. That's the sort of thing. Ryan, and I think that's the biggest problem. The play has to be all costumes, and when you do Broadway plays, when you do Broadway plays as movies, when you do Broadway plays in general, but when you do Broadway plays especially as movies, you need to maintain the practical effects. The practical effects can look as good as you want them to look. It doesn't need to look like a Broadway show. It can look as realistic as you want it to, but you need to maintain the practical effects, because that maintains the Broadway aspect of it. When you CG it up, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look very well. The only musical that I have seen with CG that looked pretty good still was mostly practical effects. But Sweeney Todd, I think Sweeney Todd used a bunch of CG for the backgrounds. And I still think it looked amazing. That being said, it was still all practical effects. He was still holding the razors. There was still a chair that they were sitting in. They were still wearing costumes. So I obviously that's not really the same thing, but I have no interest in musicals. Yeah, I don't mind a decent musical if it's relatively interesting. Broadway plays rarely translate. And here, Ryan, I think they do sometimes. I think people liked Mamma Mia. I thought was a Broadway play at some point. Chicago. What the hell is the one with Hugh? Les Mis. People love those movies. They work very well because you can use settings. You can use Hollywood quality settings to add to the realism of what's going on. But it's still practical effects. You're still shooting in realistic places. You're still shooting with real sets. The Les Mis movie was... Well, I actually heard that movie was good. I heard Hugh Jackman tore it up. I heard all of the singing was very good. I actually heard very positive things about that movie. Again, it's a musical. It's probably not something I'm going to watch. I can name all of the musicals that I am familiar with and enjoyed, not including Disney movies, because a lot of people will argue that some Disney movies count as musicals, but I will not include those. I'm not including animated movies. Little Shop of Horrors, Sweeney Todd, Crybaby. As hokey as it sounds, I love that movie. I have a strong sense of nostalgia with that movie. Those, I think, are the only musicals that I very much enjoyed. Not Rocky Horror. I like Rocky Horror. I do. I like the silliness of it. I like the songs. My problem with Rocky Horror is that I experienced Rocky Horror through doing the things that you're supposed to do. It's an interactive movie. It's an interactive musical. You are physically supposed to do things. If anybody is not familiar with Rocky Horror Picture Show, it is the most notorious aspect of it is that there's a bunch of stuff that you're supposed to do during the movie. There's a scene where they get out of the car and they cover their heads in newspaper, and then because it's raining, so they run to the house. Anytime that they're out of the car, when they're waiting out in the rain, you are supposed to have a newspaper to cover your head, and at the theater you bring squirt guns. And then you squirt into the air so that when everybody doing it, it's raining. And everybody, so you're out in the rain with them. There's a whole lot of interactivity that you're supposed to do with Rocky Horror. Without the I loved it. See, no, but Ryan, that's my point. Without that interactivity, I find it to be a mediocre musical. If you're not doing the things, if you're not bringing the props, if you're not getting up and doing the dances, it's not the same thing. Try sitting there and watching Rocky Horror and not doing all of the stuff. I find it to be very mediocre. I find it to be average, run of the mill, 6.0, which is not awful, but still not spectacular. It's the interactivity that brings it up a couple of points. So when you're not doing that, it hurts it to me. Get an umbrella. No, you don't get an umbrella. Because I have seen people use umbrellas and it just doesn't work. Bring a newspaper. Grease is considered a classic. I don't like the movie Grease. I really don't like the movie Grease. I know it's going to be all social justice warrior of me. I don't like the message of Grease. I don't like the idea. For anybody that has not seen Grease, he's trying to hook up with whatever her name is. She tries to change him. He decides that he doesn't want to change or that he can't change. So she, literally the end of the movie is she gets a makeover and she changes for him, and that's the end of the movie. And that's it. Like the whole purpose, the whole point of it is change for your man. No, come on. Crisis at Infinite Earths. I'm trying to go back. I know that I missed a few topics here. Hang on a second here. Thoughts on the Eon Super 64 HDMI N64 adapter across the crypt. Dragon, we talked about it before. I have no nostalgia. I have no strong nostalgia for the N64, so I don't care about getting the HDMI signal out of it. I think it is great for people who are extremely into the N64. I just am not. I still think that $150 for an HDMI adapter is a bit much no matter what. But I just don't have strong nostalgia for the N64. Thoughts on the Jay and Silent Bob reboot? I didn't watch the trailer for it. I honestly just don't care. I didn't like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I think Jay and Silent Bob make fantastic side characters. I do not think that they make interesting main characters. It doesn't work for me. So are we going to address how the Joy-Con drifting issue... Oh, by the way, that Jay and Silent Bob reminded me of something else, so we'll talk about that after this. So are we going to address the Joy-Con drifting issue seeming getting more attention with people pressing Nintendo to address it? I'm going to jump ahead on the comments here because I think I missed a bunch of comments. I don't know that there is anything to say about the drifting Joy-Cons that hasn't been said already. I think it sucks. I think it is terrible that they do that in the first place. Okay, here's the thing with the drifting Joy-Con. I would like for Nintendo to offer some sort of buyback system. You mail in your Joy-Cons, you get new Joy-Cons, or you can exchange them somewhere and you pay a fraction of the price. You know, I mail in my Joy-Con and get a new Joy-Con for $10. I like that idea. I think that that's fine. I don't like the idea of harassing Nintendo for this because at the time of release, this is something that by now they should have fixed. By now they should have already fixed this. But to say right at the beginning that Nintendo should have already known that this was a problem, I don't think is fair because most people didn't start having Joy-Con drifting issues until well into the life of the system. My first Joy-Con didn't start drifting until well after a year after the system was released. So I don't think that that's something that you could have discovered in even a couple of months of testing, especially because they're not testing mass-produced ones. They're testing prototype ones that are usually made a bit better. Car companies have been notorious for that. I think car companies now, when they do their safety testing and all, they have to test on cars that came off of the assembly line so that they're not testing better versions of the car. So I don't fault Nintendo for not knowing about this originally, but this has been a problem for a little while. I'm a little annoyed that they haven't, I assume they haven't released a newer version of the Joy-Con. I don't know, because I haven't bought new Joy-Con because I like the Switch Pro controller better. But if they have not done any kind of revision, I'd be upset about that. But I have heard that they did, but then I'm still hearing people saying that they're having problems, so I'm not sure. So I'm going to jump ahead here. I hate Grease. It sends a terrible message. Next time I go to Ohio, I plan to go to one of the showings of Rocky Horror. Yeah, look up Lilac. Look up all of the stuff that you're supposed to bring, and find out if the place that right off the bat you're supposed to dress like one of the characters when you go to see Rocky Horror. If you go to the theater and they actually do all of the stuff, right off the bat, you're supposed to be dressed as one of the characters. But then, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff you're supposed to bring. You're supposed to get up and do the dances. It's great. Wait, at the end of the movie, they both change for each other, but he drops when he sees her. What, Rooster in Greece? No, he did not change for her. She changed for him. But she changed too, and he reverted. Yeah, at the end, and I'm just talking about the end of the movie. By the end, he realizes he doesn't have to change, and it's BS. I just use an upscaler. They intend to. They dress up, and his wife is having way too much fun. Almost forgot to bring up the KyoAni fire. Oh yeah. So we are gonna. I did want to bring that up. Or I wanted you to bring that up. The Kyoto animation fire, KyoAni. There was a fire. I think they're saying that the death toll was up to 33. I don't want to spread any misinformation. So let me see here. All right, this is from the New York Times. So if they get it wrong, so it looks like at least 33 people. Okay, the New York Times immediately blocked me out, so we're not going to do that. Let's see if the website has any information. Oh no, that's something else. It's up to 34. So they get up to 34. So yeah, 34. A lot of people injured. Suspect has been caught. Guy was claiming they stole his work. Has a history of mental issues. 34 dead. According to the president, all the computers and work has been lost. See, yeah, that was what I wanted to ask. I wasn't sure if there was any information on that yet. If they found the person, I wasn't sure if he also died in a fire, and then why that was the case. So he claimed that they stole his work. Don't hate me for this. What stuff have they done specifically? What is their works? I mean, this is tragic no matter what. I'm curious as to what are some of their biggest works that they've done. All of their assets gone. Master's gone. You know what, Lizard? All of that stuff. It's unfortunate, but it is secondary. And I'm not chiding you for it. I'm just saying that it is all secondary. I know that there were some years back when the studio that did Wallace and Gromit, they had a fire and they lost tons of assets. I don't think anybody died in that fire, but they lost tons of assets, and that's always unfortunate. But in this situation, for 34 people to lose their life is definitely more significant. It's definitely. I mean, losing all of that other stuff is also very affecting, but it does suck. Inuyasha, Haruhi, Suzumamiya. Oh, Clannad. Oh. They're known for gorgeous animation and very feelsy show. Yeah, well, you mentioned Clannad, so yeah. Or Clannad. I don't like Clannad because Nad sounds like testicles. They worked on the movie Silent Voice. Okay. Again, it really sucks if it was just if it was just the computers and equipment, that would suck. But 34 people, unfortunately, takes very solid precedence, and it's very terrible that happened. They're also known for being the only real animation studio that gives their employees a good wage and good work-life balance. Ugh. I mean, hopefully we're changing that. Hopefully we're changing that that crunch culture. So we maybe they won't be the last ones that are like that. Is it this the highest casualty? Is it really? Wow, it is. According to Lizard, it is. That is freaking brutal. From what I heard in Hibiki Euphonium, a character plays a solo in an anime that was actually a song called Let's Take a Train. The guy took offense to this. Okay, saying they ripped off the song. This caused a storm on 5chain, which may have culminated in this attack. Also, he lit the flame and he apparently yelled drop dead. Because what happened? He doused like the whole first floor in gasoline or something, and then he set it on fire, which is freaking horrible, man. The next biggest is the sarin gas event that happened in. Wow, I remember that. I remember hearing about that. The previous terror, I was in high school. 95, I was in high school. I graduated in 96. Wow, sarin gas. Good Lord, man. This is, I don't know what's worse. I know this sucks because I don't want it to take away from the tragedy that this is, but it kind of sucks that this is almost light compared to the U.S. Like the U.S. is no, I can't even get into that. I can't. Codeine Gasoline, he was also a trained otaku, which is why he took offense to the song. I was 2 when the sarin gas attack happened. Well, you know what? It really sucks. It really is unfortunate that you look at something that is so positive. You know, we love anime. We're big anime fans here. Obviously, anime is a gigantic culture in Japan, and to have something like this happen, it's a shame. Vile is a great word for it. It is a horrible situation to have. It is a horrible situation that somebody thinks that this is the appropriate reaction. There is, let's be clear about something here. There is very, very, very little possibility that this sort of reaction is appropriate. Very little. I can't say not at all, because the reality is there are some horrible groups of people out there, and quite frankly, if you put them all in a room, this would be a good thing. I hate to say it. I know that it sounds terrible, but there are a lot of people out there that if they died in a fire, it'd be fantastic. These are not those people. These are hardworking people that are trying to do something positive and they create art. They create something that makes people happy. This is awful. That's a whole can of worms with the U.S. that we fire open with guns on a regular basis. I just really hope that the anime community can come together. I hope so. I think so. And Ryan, you know what? I think they will. I think that I can tell you what the political answer, not political answer, but the answer that they would give. I can tell you what they would say. They would say that the loss of life is tragic. But when it comes to the future of KyoAni is one of the biggest tragedies is the people. They're going to dismiss the loss of assets. They're going to do exactly what I said, which is we don't care about that stuff as much as we care about the people. KyoAni is spirit, and they're going to keep that alive. Yes, they don't have masters anymore for a lot of that stuff. They need new computers and stuff. I promise you, other animation studios, people from around the world are going to help them recover those things that can be recovered, because the loss of life can never be recovered. But they're going to help them recover, and they're going to rebuild. And this is something that is going to drive them into the future. It is unfortunate that it happens. That is the bottom line, though. There's nothing more to say than that. Sentai managed to raise about $1 million for the victims of the attack. Some people are dismissing this as not that important. Those people are idiots. Hold on. I'm going to try and remember something here. If a clod falleth from the continent is diminished. Therefore, the death of any person diminishes me, because I am a part of mankind. John Doan said that. Hold on, I'm going to look this up here. Yeah. John Doan, I believe it was, that said that. And that statement, I remember hearing that statement a very, very long time ago, and I always to this day remember it. For anybody that does not understand what that means is that a continent, a mass of land is gigantic. But if a piece falls from it, the continent is diminished because of it. It is less. Even though the rock that fell off of it is small, it is diminished. Mankind is the same way. Yes, there are a lot of individuals, but the death of even those individuals is diminishing to the idea of mankind as a whole. So you could sit there and you can say that, oh, if you were going to be one of those a-holes who, oh, well, there's more animation stuff and there's more of this and that. That doesn't change the fact that 34 people at this point lost their life. And as a human race, we are less because we have now lost 34 people whose mission it was to create something positive in this world. And that is the reality of what's going on. So anybody who says anything other than that is Lizard says they're baiting you. They are baiting you, or they are actively insensitive, inconsiderate people, and quite frankly, you don't need that in your life. Yeah, and that's just a reality. 34 very talented people who make great art, enjoyed by millions. Yeah, that is a reality. I worked my job. I used to work part of my job was going into Center City at one point. We would collect tickets and stuff for people who were going down to the platform. It doesn't need to be explained. There was a day where there was a fatality. Someone was struck by a train. So whenever they're struck by a train, the police have to come out. They have to stop the trains. Everything gets held up. So there's tons of people in the city. It's 5 p.m. and they're all pissed off because they want to go home. So the news came out why the train was so delayed. That there was a fatality and they have to investigate. The police have to shut the train down and they have to investigate what's going on. I almost punched this guy in the face. I actually yelled at him, but I almost punched him in the face because he had the balls in front of all of these people to say, well, can't they just move the body so that they can get the train going? I wanted to punch him in the face. But I actually looked at him and I was like, wow, way to really treat people. Why don't now you deserve to not catch the train. That sort of behavior is outrageous to me. How we treat death reflects how we treat life. If you don't care that 34 good people, hardworking people lost their lives, then you don't care about life. And quite frankly, tell me if that's who you are, because I don't want to have anything to do with you. Sorry. I get a little worked up when people trivialize death in a way. Yeah. I get a little worked up with that because it does kind of bother me when people act like that. Yeah, why did you just call into work? It bothers me when people act like that. But yeah, the Kyoto animation thing is freaking horrible, man. I don't know. I apologize for what I'm about to say, but I would like to move on because there isn't really much left to say on the subject. So if anybody has anything else, I apologize for getting so hardcore about everything. I don't like it. I don't like when people act like that, and it bothers me. It really pisses me off. Well, Shadow, it was the other way around. They were coming home, and everybody wanted to come home, so everybody's all pissy about not being able to get home. You prefer a classic live system? What do you mean? What do you mean classic live system or live system? Yesterday you told me to bring up Luigi's Mansion 3's release date. Okay, Luigi's Mansion 3 release date. Yeah, then call a cab. Luigi's Mansion 3 was released. They announced the release date. It's going to be Halloween night. Does anybody think that... I don't know. I like the idea of the game being out for Halloween, but I feel like it should have been out at least a few days before, because no one's going to end up playing it on Halloween. They're going to end up playing it later. You know, a lot of people don't go out on Halloween. Okay, you're going to be playing on a Halloween. But the bulk of people, I mean, I don't have kids and I don't go trick-or-treating, but I still go to a friend's house and we hang out with their kids and we hand out candy and stuff. Like, I wouldn't be playing it on Halloween. I don't know. I don't like the fact that it came out Halloween. And I wonder about just coming out on holidays in general. Like, people say, oh, video games, You know, if they have video games that come out Christmas Day, like that would be stupid. I mean, Christmas Day is probably a more extreme example, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like the Halloween release. I think a couple of days before would have been fine. I don't like the Halloween release date. I think it would have been fine, especially as a streamer, because it would be nice to have the game for a few weeks before Halloween to play that during Halloween. What? Omega Vial, I'm still confused by one of a classic life system. Is that what you mean? Nintendo hates streamers. Of course, Nintendo hates streamers. Nintendo hates streamers and YouTubers. We all knew this. Every single time they would attack one of the videos because it has music from them. We know that they hate YouTubers and live streamers. My dad was told growing up, never treat something like that as inconvenient. Someone out there has to find out that someone isn't coming home. Exactly. People don't like to be inconvenienced regardless of how sensible. Yeah, I think it's what it is. I think it's thematic. Yeah, it's appropriate as in the, you know, it's Luigi's Mansion, it's Halloween. I get it, but like the fact that it's Halloween Day, you know, people do stuff on Halloween, so I don't like that. I just think it should come out a little bit before. The problem is that Halloween ends on yeah, exactly. Halloween ends on Halloween night. So it's funny to say, ooh, Halloween, pick up Luigi's Mansion 3. But you're going to be playing it November 1st. And that's not Halloween anymore. You should have it to play during the Halloween season, which basically is October 1st to the 31st. I think releasing it October 1st would have made more sense. I think that would have been much cooler to release it then. I'm okay with the release date considering I would just save it for tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, obviously you're just going to play it later. But I just mean the whole idea of timing it with Halloween. It doesn't work because you're literally setting it in the last day that anybody celebrates Halloween. Mid-October. Yeah, Ryan, for the most part, it's like the 2 weeks before. I love Halloween, so I start putting stuff up the beginning of October because I really like Halloween. But yeah, for the most part, it's like 2 weeks before. It's not like Christmas where we start celebrating it in September. Well, people start celebrating it in September because I don't. And I'm not exaggerating. The sometime around September and late September is Target. That's when they start putting up Christmas stuff to sell. Sometimes earlier than that. What do you think of movies that come out on holidays? Depends on the holiday. I don't like movies that come out on Thanksgiving. Actually, I do. I actually like movie holiday for movies. I'll tell you why. A lot of holidays have to do with spending time with the family. I don't really like Halloween because Halloween usually involves something else, but a lot of people I don't like Christmas because I don't want the employees to have to work. 4th of July is a big day off for people, so they go out and go to the movies. Easter is a gigantic one where people, if you're religious, you go to church in the morning. Maybe you have a big Easter dinner, but you go out and you have fun throughout the day. Easter's a great time to release movies. Holidays that are usually more about days off and relaxing and stuff, I like releasing movies on those days. They don't need to be themed for that particular holiday, but I do like when you've got, you know, whatever holiday, you know, Veterans Day, Memorial Day or something. I like when there are movies released on those days because people get to go out and that can be the thing that they do to celebrate that day. Thanksgiving, I like in the morning. I don't mind stuff being up. I worked at an arcade and the problem is, DB, for certain holidays, this is what I was saying. This is what I was going to say. This is why I don't like Christmas. I don't like Christmas and New Year's because I don't want people to have to work at all those days. I worked at an arcade and for one Thanksgiving and a skating rink for another Thanksgiving. The first half of those days are actually very busy, and I used to like it. I used to remember thinking, no one's coming in. It's Thanksgiving. Everybody's spending time with their family. No one's coming in. I'll tell you who came in, and a lot of them. Dads and granddads with the kids. They came in droves because the moms and the grandmoms would stay at home and they would cook. And I know that that's a sexist sounding thing, but that is what they were doing. I actually talked to a lot of them, especially when I was at the arcade, and they said that they're all at home cooking because that was their big thing. That was that was what they liked to do. So it was full of dads with kids, and it was a great sight to see. So yeah, I don't mind stuff like that. Thanksgiving, the first half. I like the idea of morning movies for Thanksgiving. No shows that go past 3 o'clock. Everybody should be at home with your families on Thanksgiving. I don't like that Black Thursday crap. It's Thanksgiving. The day already has a name. But for the first half, if you start movies from 9 or 10 a.m. to maybe noon or 1 o'clock, so that there are no movies continuing past 3, I think that that's actually a pretty cool time to have a movie theater open. It's interesting how we feel different for movie. Dragon Knight, I can tell you exactly why. Because games are usually longer than a couple of hours. You go see a movie and you've seen a movie. You play a video game, even if you plan on playing Luigi's Mansion 3 on Halloween, you're going to play it well past Halloween because it's going to be longer than that amount of time. You know, the game itself is going to take longer, maybe, than that amount of time. You play them for a longer period of time. That's why for video games, I like, especially like Halloween games, I like the idea of releasing the game sometime earlier in October. So October, Halloween month, you're spending playing the game, as opposed to Halloween and then Thanksgiving. Thoughts on store opening late on I think it's crap. Fox, I will always actively say that. I think stores opening on Thanksgiving is nonsense. Midnight. If you want to open a store midnight, Black Friday, go right ahead. I think the opening a store at 5 p.m. is ridiculous on Thanksgiving, and it's outrageous. Yeah, problem is that somebody has to work. Yeah, so I don't want anybody to have to work on Thanksgiving. So here's the thing, DP Stewart. Problem is somebody has to work. I don't want anybody to have to work on Thanksgiving. I don't want anybody to have to work on Christmas. Most other holidays, people actually say that they don't mind working. Memorial Day, it'd be nice to have a day off, but a lot of people like the time and a half pay for working on those holidays. Columbus Day. I don't get off for Columbus Day. I honestly don't care. I wouldn't mind having an extra day off just because, but I don't care that we don't close for that day because it's not a real holiday in the first place. But I don't care that I don't have a day. If anything, I like going in and having a slower day at work because everybody else has a day off. Families came in. Some channels usually have the Thanksgiving parade in the mornings, though. Mom and grandma's cooking is an older generation thing. Omega, you'd be surprised. That is, depending on who you're talking to, that's still a common thing. If I ever become a politician, I'm going to run on a platform of banning Black Friday, and I'll get all the votes for minimum wage workers. Rooster, Massachusetts. I believe Massachusetts has a job that non-essential businesses are not allowed to open during any Thanksgiving hours. If you see a movie, you see a movie. If you play a game, you see how far the rabbit hole goes. Are you keeping up with Comic-Con? Shadow, I don't actively keep up with it, but I stay on Twitter and I watch the updates that come out of it. Apparently, they showed some stuff about Black Widow, so I do want to see what that's all about. I mean, I'm sure someone who will have it preloaded and stream it all of Halloween. But yeah, that's the thing, right? It's you get one day to actually play it within the themed time frame. You know what I mean? How do we stop Black Friday where people literally get killed by other crazy people, or is it? No, it happens, but now it happens on Thanksgiving. Like poison candy corn. Never been a case of actual candy being poisoned or having needles in it or anything like that. There was a story decades ago where a guy tried to do that and he got caught. So now it still persists, but it's literally never happened. My problem with Black Friday is that it comes directly after the day when we are supposed to be thankful for what we have. The Black Widow movie is like 7 years too late. Yeah, it really is. So this is where we get into paying higher wages. I imagine without time and a half pay, a lot of people wouldn't. Yeah, DB Stewart. No, they would absolutely not. They would absolutely not. No. Or no, you know what, DB? That's a lie, because now they would take their extra pay plus time and a half and they would make crazy amounts of money. Some stores are open on Christmas. I don't agree with any store that opens on Christmas. I know Christmas is a religious, technically, see, here's the thing with Christmas. Christmas is technically a religious holiday. That would be like stores closing on Rosh Hashanah. And so it's a religious holiday, but at this point it has transcended the religious aspect of it, and it has sort of become everybody's holiday. Thunderlips. You know what? Good. They shouldn't feel forced to volunteer. Yeah, I don't think they should be forced to volunteer. Yeah, that's a whole. We'll talk about that on Thanksgiving, because I think we've talked about that on Thanksgiving before, and it drives me crazy. I didn't watch the trailer for this. There is no trailer for the Steven Universe movie. I don't think that there's a trailer for that yet. I'm actually pretty excited, but I do want to see more about it. I'm happy to see that Steven has a neck now. I did, however, see, and again, I didn't watch the trailer for it. There is a Top Gun 2 coming out. Oh, the trailer is out for Steven Universe. Okay, so I am going to have to go and watch that. There's a trailer for Top Gun 2. The trailer's out now. The trailer's out now. The trailer's out now. There is. I don't know how I feel about this Top Gun 2 situation. I think it's possible to do it right, though. I think it's possible to say that now he is the trainer and he's training a new hotshot group of pilots. We know that it's Tom Cruise, so that's not what it's going to be. He's going to be the star of the film, of course. But I would like the idea of seeing him in the trainer's seat where he's training, you know, he's got the hot shot pilot like he was. And then you've got a great scene where Tom Cruise looks at him and he's like, I used to be just like you, you know, and then he talks about Maverick and stuff. Or who was the one that died? Iceman? No, Maverick died. I like the idea of it. I think that it could be, I think that there is a way to do it properly. I think that they're not going to do it properly. The Top Gun, terrible movie. I didn't hate Top Gun. I thought Top Gun was okay. I thought it was, you know what, Ryan? I thought Top Gun was classic 80s schlock. Joker's the one that died. Thank you. Maverick and Iceman, they were together. I don't remember it. I thought it was classic 80s schlock. That worked well for me. I thought it was for a kind of popcorn movie. I thought it was fine. Iron Eagle. If anybody remembers, oh my God, I'm digging into the vault for that one. But Iron Eagle, with Doug Masters. I don't even remember the guy that played Doug Masters. I just remember that his name was Doug Masters, and Lou Gossett Jr. was Chappie Sinclair. Oh my God, how the hell do I remember that? And then it was Iron Eagle, and then it was, oh my God, it was Aces? Iron Eagle. What was Iron Eagle 2? Iron Eagle 2 was the one where they had the Russian exchange program where there were some Russian soldiers with them, Russian pilots and stuff. It's silly 80s movies. Glad to be home after a long work week. What's worse, the Top Gun movie or the game? The game. I think the game is way worse. The game I've beaten the game, but damn it has some horrible controls. Yeah, the movie's considered a classic. I don't hate the movie. I don't think that it's horrible. I think that I'd rather watch Top Gun than watch Cocktail. I didn't think Cocktail was a particularly interesting movie. I think I'd like Top Gun. This is a tough one. I think I like Top Gun a little bit better than I like Days of Thunder. Both classics. But I think I like Top Gun a little bit better just because I like the premise better. I like the flying more than I like the driving. Yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. Press F for the Persona fan base. Because Joker died. Sonic the Hedgehog will make an appearance in OKKO. I saw the trailer for that, and I thought that was great. I actually think OKKO is a decent show. I haven't been able to watch it because I don't have cable anymore. But I like the show. I think that it's nice and cute and fun. Ace Combat is a better Top Gun game. It's better than the Fire at Will Top Gun game for the PS1. Yikes. Hot takes with Uncle Craig. Thoughts on new news on the Nintendo Universal section, like the new the amusement park. All I saw was that they might have leaked the amusement park thing, and I saw a video for that. I think I saw Pat the NES Punk and Ian talking about that. But I don't know. I haven't really looked up into it because, quite frankly, I'm probably not going to be able to afford going for a long time. OKK is a good show. It's nice to have CN get some variety. Yeah, I liked, for what I saw of OKK, I thought it was a good show. I thought it was very fun and charming. It had a nice set of gags. What's the one gag where the character doesn't have legs because he's standing behind the counter, so they didn't animate legs, or the frame, the camera panned too far out or something, so his legs weren't there because they weren't supposed to be in the frame, so they weren't animated. The only thing I know about Top Gun is that sweet jazz. The only thing I know about that sweet jazz is the NES version where never saw OKKO only because I don't have cable. Yeah, AR, it's actually a pretty decent show. It's very clever in the writing. I thought that it's a good show. I just haven't been able to watch it. Same with the DuckTales show. I can't watch the DuckTales show because I don't have cable. I have no way to actually watch the show. That was the episode where they broke the fourth wall and KO realized that he was a cartoon. And I'm going to have to go back and find that episode so I can watch the whole thing. If the place isn't exactly like Nintendo Land on the Wii U, what's the point? AR, I would think it should look more like a Mario Party board. Only thing worth remembering from Top Gun is they're gonna take a ride into the danger zone. Oh, I don't have my emote. I have my new emote is related to me listening to music. So every time I sing a song, we can use the new emote, but I don't have it ready yet. Have you played the Save the Light on PS4? No, I played Attack the Light, the mobile version. I did not play Save the Light on the PS4. I should probably pick that up. The only thing I know about OKK is they had Jonathan Davis of Korn voice a character, and every line said was a reference to a new metal song. Oh. See, that's clever. I like that. Yeah, I saw the Sonic the Hedgehog in OKK. I thought it was great. I thought it's nice and clever, that he mentioned heroes. I wouldn't mind seeing more heroes on the show. I think that would actually be kind of cool. ProZD was he also in OK? I'm surprised he doesn't do half the damn voices on that show with all of the stuff that he does. OKKO. I think that's gonna be it. I think we're going to. I love ProZD, so he's pretty. ProZD seems like a Sungwon is his name. Sungwon. He seems like a genuinely cool person, and that's what I like. That's one of the things that will always draw me to a celebrity. Is that when they seem like a really, really cool person. Ever seen that Rooster Teeth anime show? No, I did not, and I don't know that we're supposed to. Yeah. The anime. Yeah, the Anime Police. It was like the 3-episode thing. Yeah, I did see that. I love that. I think that's awesome. All right. So that is going to do it for today. Thank you everyone so much for hanging out. During the credits for the show, I'm going to send the raid over. So this does not apply to YouTube. I'm going to send the raid over to John's stream because I believe John is streaming, what's it called? What do you call that thing? Mario Maker 2? So John is streaming that. So I'm going to send everybody over to that during the credits. So, for right now, I want to thank everybody for stopping in and for hanging out, for talking about all of this crazy stuff. We got a little somber at some points, but I think we had some pretty good fun. If you are watching this right now and you have not already hit follow, go ahead and hit follow. If you are not subscribed, feel free to also subscribe. And if you've got Twitch Prime, you can subscribe for free once a month. I would appreciate that. Also, check the links down below and follow me over on Twitter. I almost said Twitch. Follow me over on Twitter, which is where I post any kind of updates as far as what we're going to be doing on the channel. And follow me over on YouTube, where I post these episodes up weekly. If you are watching this on YouTube, also go ahead and click subscribe. That would be very much appreciated. Also, check the links down below. Follow me over on Twitter and follow me over on Twitch, where we do the show live Fridays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Thank you, everybody, for stopping in. Let me get my buttons ready. Let me turn that off there. Have an amazing, amazing weekend. It is going to be, depending on where you live, a scorcher outside. So stay in the air conditioning, play some games, because apparently, based on some of the topics that we discussed, people don't do enough of that during the summer. So play some video games, have a good time, and I will see you all next time.